and in Quebec, we remove the Catholic indoctrination from the class. And I see it weird that we are seeing another religion come into school, but it's a religion that doesn't have a name. So they're doing indoctrination again, but differently, let's say.
Schools are the new battleground in the culture war. School board, in partnership with various governments, want to expose children to cross-sex burlesque shows, drag queen story hours, where drag queens read books to kids. All this is done under the guise of making schools more inclusive and tolerant. But why is this happening at school at all? Drag queens are not new. Quite the contrary. It is in the theater that the term drag would have emerged, since women were often not allowed to perform. Shows feature an all-male cast playing all characters. The men had to dress as a woman so that the theatrical production did not suffer. Over the following decade, drag became increasingly associated with the LGBT community. Around the 1930s, gay bars and nightclubs began to put on drag shows to entertain clients. These shows were often parodies of mainstream culture and included exaggerated female character and burlesque shows. The LGBTQ+ community has appropriated this performance over time. Drag is not a gender identity. It is simply a man who caricatures himself as a woman in an exaggerated way, whose performances are known to be daring and even sexual. In recent years, the deconstruction of gender identity has become mainstream. Deconstructing gender identity is a concept that challenges the strict social norm that dictate how individuals should behave and identify based on their gender assigned at birth. Now allowing people to show themselves as what they want. And this has bled into biological sex, no longer about someone outside presentation, but medical intervention. The drag queen become this vector of information on gender ideology and sexual identity, which offer a distorted vision to children that they can not only change sex if they do not feel in harmony with it, but that they can also be whatever they want to be. All this leaving room for a broad interpretation, leaving deviance settling in society, and leaving vulnerable people in search of acceptability to make drastic changes in order to gain notoriety. Identity development is mostly formed during the early years of childhood and adolescence, usually before the age of 12, despite development continuing to form throughout life. Today, I'm talking with Charles Gaudreau, father of 3 children. Recently, he discovered that the school board his 5-year-old daughter attends is watching videos of a drag queen named Barbada in class without asking for parental consent. Here is his story.
My daughter came back from school and she started to ask some weird question to my wife. The question were about like, is it possible that someone who looked like a woman speak with a voice like a man? I mean, like a loud voice like a man. And question around this, like men dressing like women and stuff like that. So my wife questioned my daughter, and she realized that my daughter at her school, and by the way, she was 5 years old at that time in January. In the music class, they were viewing the videos from Barbada, who is a drag queen, who has his own children show at Radio Canada, who is the sister company of CBC. 4 times she has witnessed to this Barbada kid show, and Barbada is a drag queen, and I was not. I was surprised that it happened at my school, and it happened without my consent. And I sent an email to the parent of the class, telling them that our children are exposed to drag queen video and music classes, and I incited the parent to complain to the principal, and to let them know that if they don't agree with this kind of I would say kind of event, or after I sent this email to these parents, I got one parent, probably a woke parent, who told me that I was like probably how do you say that, a retarded conservative or something like that. And then the principal sent an email to parents and said that there was no gender identity in these Barbada videos and stuff like that. He was telling that basically the teacher was competent, and that she could use the tool that she want to teach the children, who are 5 and 6 years old, by the way. So I wrote back to this principal, and we had a few email exchange, and in 3 different occasions, I asked the very same question. I did ask him if using drag queen was an appropriate tool to instruct children or to show them pedagogical content. And at every occasion, he did not respond to my question. He said stuff like, the teacher is competent, she can use the tool she wants with the children, and blah, blah, blah. So to me, it tells me that he don't want to commit to say, hey, it's wrong, but we're not going to do it again, or he don't want to say that he's comfortable with it. So the teacher is probably competent, but everybody make mistakes. I don't have any problem saying, okay, the teacher could say, I made a mistake, I'm not going to do it again, or I'm going to advise parents afterward, but parents were not asked about this, and it happened behind our back. Mm-hmm. And I recall 1 or 2 years ago, the first time we heard about drag queen giving stories to children in the media, what we were told is that, okay, it's only happening in the library. It's happening to parents and children who want to go there. We're not forcing everyone. So I was, okay, all right. If you want to go there with your children, it's your choice. I don't have any problem with that. But if you come to my child and you don't ask me the permission, and you're using drag queen to show them stuff, I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is often what happened, my perspective is that they're using, you have woke people using woke drag queen basically to transmit or to give woke content. It sounds like it's indoctrination. I've been hearing about what this Barbada have said in the media in the last few days, few weeks, and she promote book author who are ideologically oriented on the woke side of politics, let's say.
Ça s'intitule « Deux garçons et un secret ». Justin hausse les épaules. Bon, il faut être grand pour se marier pour de vrai. Et puis, un mariage entre 2 gars, ça se peut même pas.
Oui, ça se peut.
Oui, ça se peut. Je suis tout à fait d'accord avec toi. Émile et Mathis s'aiment. Alors, ils ont le droit de se marier, répond Marianne. Pourquoi pas? Émile, tu es mon plus meilleur ami. Je te marie parce que tu ne ris jamais de moi quand je tombe en jouant au hockey. Et quand on sera grand, on habitera dans la même maison. Et on mangera de la réglisse rouge tous les jours. Ce soir-là, au souper, Émile montre sa bague à ses parents et leur annonce « Je me suis marié avec mon ami Mathis aujourd'hui. »
The principal told me that the kids already had 4 sessions of Barbada. And the principal told me, okay, for the next session, because there was a 5th one on the plan. There's a 5th one plan. He said, we could remove your your daughter 10 minutes from the class, so she don't view it. So I think it's a bit negative in a way that she will feel that she's punished and she won't really understand why. So I'm probably going to remove my daughter from that afternoon or from that evening, so she don't feel punished for it. And the thing is, okay, it happened once for Barbara. That what will happen like 3 years from now, 4 years from now? I have 3 kids, so what will happen when my other kids go to the school? And I mean, maybe I could even change school, but if I change school, it's I can run up in the same kind of problem, because this time of event, I think it happened probably in multiple schools, and we don't know where, because they're not telling us. I've seen what's happening in the United States, and we are getting it, but later than what's happening in the United States. And in the States, parents are being furious about what is happening, and what we're seeing in Florida and these other states is just because parents are starting to say, okay, we don't agree with this, and they ask the politician to act, so it's not happening again. So yeah, I'm saying I'm losing a bit of confidence, because our children, they are the most precious things that we have, and we want the best for them, and we want to, when we bring them to school, we bring them there so they can get good instruction about mathematics, French course, English course, science. We parents should give our value to our children, but not the school system. If you will have teacher teaching political orientations to the children, for example, if they will ask directly to children to vote for a candidate for a political party, like at high school or stuff, when they get older, when the parents will say, hey, this is not right or whatever. But now it's more insidious in a way that it's an ideology, and on the top of the ideology, there will be a political orientation to that. When I was younger, I remember there was some, not priests in the class, but we got a bit of Catholic indoctrination, I would say. And in Quebec, we remove the Catholic indoctrination from the class. And I see it weird that we are seeing another religion come in the school, but it's a religion that doesn't have a name. So they're doing indoctrination again, but differently, let's say.
So if you agree that the school and the teacher should ask the parental consent before showing drag queen content, but also that teachers should not discuss about sexual content with children, go over and sign our petition at stopclassroomgrooming.com. Sign it and share it. It's really important. This is the safe space for our children.